everyone. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is DK Jonah, and you're welcome to the Introvert's Guide to Content Creation. Now, it's a podcast where we interview different introverts to see how they're thriving in the digital world and in an extroverted world, especially, and the things they are doing to recently, quite recently, we connected because of our interest in vision boards. But Bisi is someone that I have grown to love and appreciate so much because of her passion and her commitment. But I would like to tell you a little bit more about her and what she does so that you also get to like her as much as I do. But trust me, she is an introvert like no other. She's one of the most passionate introverts I know. I'll call her a multi-talented designer from graphics and web design to pursuing a career in business and interior design. She is the founder of Business School for Interior Decorators, and that's a community of over 1,000 designers and decorators. Well, with her background in IT and her work experience in the building industry, she is determined to help build these interior designers and decorators and help them launch their own build successful design businesses. And she's also passionate about something called Girls Skill Up, and I would like her to tell us a little bit more about that when she comes. And hi BC, how are you doing today?
Hello, DK. I'm doing very well. How are you too?
I'm great. I'm great. Nice to have you on board.
Thank you so much for inviting me too.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So I've given a little introduction about you, but I'm sure people will want to know more. So do you mind telling us a little bit about yourself?
All right. I'm a designer, and one word I can use to describe myself is that service. So they at my core is service. I look to help to serve. Don't know if it was a result of being male in my family growing up, but I've come to um let's say reconcile with that trait in me, and I've been able to see the strength and weakness as I used to so far. So I love to beautify things a lot, and that has seen me go from my web and graphics design, event planning, and now I am settled down with interior designing. I'm also married, so I'm a mom of three,
That's nice.
and I said in Lagos, Nigeria. I think that about sums up what you need to know about me
All
for
right,
now.
that I think that really sums up what we need to know about you for now. But we'll get into more details. But with what you do with interior decoration and the tutorials you host and the classes you host, as an introvert, don't you think people will say introverts are more suited for other roles than a role where you have to interact with people consistently to bring out the value in them? How do you do this as an introvert?
All right, so my type of person loves to support. So I don't
Okay.
like to be at the front. I don't want to be the star. I don't want to be seen, but I want to be able to create results. I want to be able to push people to do their best. So
Okay.
my being a coach or a business consultant when it comes to interior design was actually born out of seeing a lot of people in need. So initially the goal was for me to just design spaces as an interior decorator then, but now as an interior designer. And I created a Facebook group, and I was trying to help space owners, that's the end users of all of my solutions, products, and services, to enjoy their spaces, to get the best out of their spaces.
Okay.
And instead of more of these end users patronize me, I got a lot of, or many of people like me who are trying to build their interior design businesses.
Oh,
And that was how the business for, yes, that was how the business school for interior decorators started.
okay.
Started because I was out there talking about how to decorate your space, how to maximize your space, how to use color, how to do this, how to do that. And all the questions that were being thrown at me were,
I'll do
how have you
that
been
my
able
own.
to sustain your business? So it was more or less like I had a different thing in mind, but I got to meet a different need in the market.
Okay.
And initially I felt like, okay, so if I was able to do it, I can actually show people the way. And that was how the business school for interior decorators started. So he was more like he fell on my laps or he fell on my hands. I didn't go to look for people to teach. It
I,
actually happened while I was doing.
I like the fact. I think sometimes when we fall into things, it just takes its natural course. But sometimes we struggle with
Yeah.
when we fall into things, seeing it as moving from a passion or an hobby to a business. How were you able to transition from seeing it just as something that you're passionate about, like a hobby that you do freely? How were you able to transition it into a business?
All right. So that was actually tough because number one, okay. So one of the well, I say one of my weaknesses as an introvert that I, I am always willing to help without seeing myself as without even
I'm
of
guilty of
what I
that also.
it was it was tough. It was tough transition this, but I had to with time because I got to know that for me to be able to give my best, for me to be able to push the people who are looking for my help, I need to kind of as in I need to build capacity. I need to also remain focused. So the fact that I know that some people are going to be reaching out to me at every point in time to ask for my help keeps me on my toes. And so I decided to just the easiest thing for me then to do was to seek out a business coach.
Okay.
I wasn't a so because I don't have business embedded in me or embedded in me in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning. So I need for somebody who can help me figure the business part out, and that was what I did. So that was how the transition happened for me.
Awesome. All right. So, how long have you been in business now?
All right. So if for the coaching aspect,
The
that's the
cook.
business school
Yes.
aspect. Yes, that's 3 months. This sorry, it's 3 years this month.
3 years. How does
I
that
started
make you
in
for more than 3 months? And I'm sure it's more than 3 months. Okay. That's like
it's
three
three
years,
years. Because
3 years, 6 months. That's a long time. That's a very long time.
yes,
All
it
right.
is.
Let's talk a little bit
Yeah.
about being an introvert. When you hear the word
All
introvert, what does that mean to you?
right. So, luckily for me, I got to know about temperament as a teenager
Okay.
in my own teens. So they took us through the training. Then I think we used a team like book.
Why you asked the
Why
way?
why to do? So that was a training I got as a teenager,
Okay.
and I got to know that okay, so the introverts are the people who are kind of subdued. They
Mm-hmm.
don't like to. They are calm, gentle. They could be docile, but right there in the middle of all of those fine traits is the dark side, which means that they can be very moody. And that was the part that I resonated so well with me. I was very moody person. I could switch mood when I was growing up, as in because we don't talk, we keep quiet a lot, and
Yeah.
so we have so many things running in our minds or in our
Oh,
heads that need and you don't know how to let it out. The
exactly.
day you're going to let it out, you get to mess up a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
So introverts are the quiet, the calmer, and the people who actually form that maintain the peace in our society. That's what I would say. So they
I like
maintain
that.
peace in our society.
I like that. I'm going to take that quote from you. So ABC says introverts are the people who maintain the peace in society, and that's amazing because, like I said, we live in a very extroverted world where loud is right, and the louder you are, the more your voice gets heard. But how do you find your
Yeah.
voice in all this noise? As a silent person, how do you find your voice as an introvert?
All right. The easiest way, or the easiest way I've been able to find my voice is to just voice out, just open my mouth and talk. But I've also learned to be emotionally intelligent
Okay.
when I was doing. Okay, so because growing up, I grew up under a very strict mom
Okay.
and a dad who was in the force, who was in the police force.
We shared
So
common the first.
my mom was on, so my mom was the one who instilled the discipline because that was always never around,
Mm,
so something like that.
yes.
So because I was groomed to be disciplined, groomed to have decorum and all of that. I wouldn't want to talk. I wouldn't want to. to
Check yourself.
voice my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time I left, so this actually affected me while I was in high school. So
Oh.
I found out that yes, I did have friends amongst my mates.
Mm-hmm.
My friends were 2 years my junior. So friends, I made friends from people who will walk up to me and just maybe compliment me or ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them are my younger sister's friends.
Friends.
So I tend to be like a big sister in school. So when it comes to dealing with my classmates in school, I shy away from it a lot. I hate
But
competition. I hate being known or seen. I can remember very clearly the first debate event that I was drafted to go and participate in. When it was my turn to stand and I don't know why I'm sharing this. When it was my turn to stand and give my point, I started crying. As in, I
are you
couldn't talk. I
serious?
just that should be like one of the
Your
most embarrassing
classmates
moments of
will have almost killed you. Everybody on your team
so,
will just be looking at you. Alright. I'm glad you can
so
laugh
but with
about it
time I
now.
got to yes I can, but then I couldn't. You don't even want to know how I was able to get out of that because everybody felt sorry. So they felt like, oh, there's something wrong with her. That's why they didn't even see it as if I had a stage fright or I was shy. They felt like, oh, she had because I was a very quiet person, so they felt like find out what is wrong with her. And I came up with a story. Oh boy, Jesus, I can't even believe I'm saying this. I came up with a very, I came up with a, I had to tell them that I lost my great grandma.
Ah, please.
As my great grandma was gone before then, but I took myself back into that grief period. I used it to cover up my inability to talk. All right, so I was able to find my voice by actually affirming myself.
Okay.
So one of the things that I didn't do very well while I was choosing my friends when I was in the university was I didn't choose people who validates what I do. So I was because I had the mind to help. I was this somebody who loves to serve. So I was always surrounded by people who had I would just give
Because.
them a quote people users. So they
Mm-hmm.
get to because they need not because they love you or anything, but because you are fulfilling a purpose or you're filling a need in their life.
Mm-hmm.
So it got so bad that when somebody compliments me, I generally don't take it for as in I look at it as if this person just wants something from me. It is not true.
Okay. Okay.
So I find my voice when I was it was so I got hurt over and over again and I just had to tell myself that enough is enough. Enough is enough. So that was where when I began to say, okay, yes, this is who I am. Yes, this is what I would have loved to do, or this is who I would have how I would love to be perceived by my friends and close associates. But if anybody is not going to do this, to hell with them. I don't care anymore. So that was how I began to find my voice. In fact, the first set of people that I tested that on was on my dad and my older brother. So
Okay.
I'd always looked forward to their validation, as in I had always wanted them to just say, "Oh, you are awesome," or "you're," and they kept just messing up. At a point, I just told the two of them to their face. I said, "My friends, please, I am, as in, I've tried my best. If you are not going to see me as the person that you want, that I think I am,
Yeah.
please, well, I can as well just leave you guys alone." So I stopped. I guess that was how I began to stop seeking for external validation. Though I wouldn't
Okay.
say it was a success, but that was the beginning point for me. So I began to find my voice. I began to say no when I need to say no,
Mm-hmm.
and I also express how I felt and what I can take and what I cannot take, something like that.
Also, as a fellow introvert, I'm seeing signs of my stories. Like you're telling my stories so many places. I'm just smiling because yes, I'll be like that where in fact, I will just do something for you to keep quiet. I just don't want you to talk. Just leave me alone. Leave me in peace. Yes, you want it, take it and go. So I can be left alone. And I live in my head alone. So I'm just seeing myself as you're speaking and it's making me smile more. I think we introverts need to stick together more. I wish we found our voices earlier. So talk about
Yeah.
finding our voices earlier. what will you go back and tell the VC that was meant to stand up in front of everyone and give a speech at the debate? What would you tell her with the knowledge you have now?
All right. So one of the things that I will tell the younger version of myself,
Mm-hmm.
one of the things I will tell the younger version of myself is you are enough.
Mm.
You are enough. You do not need anybody to let you know how good you are or how beautiful you are or what you possess. You are just enough. You that is one thing that that I would tell my younger self.
Mm-hmm.
You are enough.
Oh.
And apart from that, I would also tell myself to once you make up your mind to do
Mm-hmm.
something, you know that you're supposed to do something, take the right step. Start executing or start
Okay.
implementing or start taking the right steps
Okay.
immediately.
Mm.
Not procrastinate.
Do not procrastinate. I
I,
like that. I like that. Because so many times as introverts we want to wait for the perfect time. We're perfectionists.
yeah,
So we plan everything in our head for so long. Well, when the choleric we just go and work, we are still trying our best to understand it and get things in line. And so we find ourselves procrastinating so much of the time. But how are you able to overcome procrastination? Do you just tell yourself, okay, BC, this has to be done now? Or is there any unique way that you go about it?
okay. The unique way is to immediately draw up a plan. So once I'm clear on this is what I want to do, I
Mm-hmm.
put up a plan immediately, and then I put the plan where I will be able to see it or go back to see to look at it over and over again in case I
Okay.
find myself straying away from my focus. So once I have a plan set, I'm able to execute or take action.
Mm-hmm. All right, I like that because so many times we are guilty of just making plans and not taking action. But yes, the first place is I like what you're doing, making a plan, then implementing it, ensuring that you're implementing it. And yesterday I put a post about being accountable to yourself before being accountable to others. That there are some things that you've promised yourself that you will do that you don't end up doing. So if we are more accountable to ourselves, I would just add to that. That will be a good way to go about it. So, what's the general misconception people have about hot introverts?
One would be that you can be that we can be pushed around.
Okay.
Feel like that we can be dominated.
Mm-hmm.
That we don't have as in we don't know how to make a decision for ourselves. So they need to make that decisions on our behalf.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the things I've found out over the years. They take us for granted and they underestimate us a lot.
Okay. Yes, I agree. And how do you become more assertive as an introvert, as an individual? You're aware that people take advantage of your patience and your silent nature. How do you be assertive without being forceful or being extroverted? Is it possible to be assertive without being extroverted?
Okay, I will call that setting the right expectation
Okay.
from set. So I let you know what I take and what I won't take. I will also let you know at the terms being as in whatever it is that we have. So it could be maybe a relationship, it could be a transaction, it could be a business transaction, it could be anything. But I believe that by the time or if you are able to set the right expectations at the onset, it takes care of any kind of how will I call it now? Any kind of I don't want to use business terms because it's just business terms
No,
that
let's
comes to my
try.
head.
Let's use
So
business terms. It's
it,
okay. This is
so
a podcast,
it will
so we
take
can
care
use
of any kind of contract breach of as in
okay, breach of contract.
you know I know what that is. We work together to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
That is what it means. Right. So if I'm going to go in, so if I'm meeting for the first time or if we have to do anything together and I know that you don't know so much about me. So for those who even know me very well, they know what how I feel
Mm-hmm.
if they do some certain somebody who I'm meeting for the first time or who is just an acquaintance. I let you know what I can accommodate and what I won't.
Okay.
I'll speak. I will just say it as it is without hurting the other person. So the fact that I'm doing it for and creates a kind of what I call it, it prevents any kind of issues
Mm,
or friction or communication breakdown, whatever is going
yeah.
to harm our relationship or whatever partnership I have with whoever it is that I'm in partnership with. It takes care of all of that because I am able to set the right expectations right from the onset. I'll be able to let you know this is what would work and this is what won't work. And I'll also hear you out too, so that
Okay.
it is going to be like a beneficial kind of
Conversation.
relationship.
Yes. Okay. I like that because I was going to say, I was going to ask, but you've answered that question. The most important lesson you've learned about being an introvert, and practically you said it is about setting boundaries. Will you say that's the most important lesson you've learned?
Yes, the most important lesson would be that, and also validating yourself.
And when you say validating yourself, can you give more clarification on what you mean by that?
All right. So a lot of us introverts, because of our nature, and if peradventure we were groomed or were brought up by parents who weren't very sensitive to our kind of persons or who are not emotionally intelligent, we end up growing up with inferiority complex.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a common trait in introvert inferiority complex.
Okay.
So that's why I said validate yourself. So you just have to look inwards and see all the good things that you have. It could be that you can listen, you're a good listener. It
Yeah.
could be that you know how to find solutions to problems. Whatever good you can find inside of you, validate yourself. Because by the time you appear to the world as somebody who is confident in her own skin or in his own skin, who knows what she wants, who knows that she matters or he matters,
Mm.
it's easier for people to respect you and
Okay.
also give you your own kind of give you space to be yourself. So
I,
that's what validation means to me.
I like that. So it's saying if you have not accepted yourself, others are not going to accept you. So you need to accept yourself first, love yourself first before you can accept love or receive love from someone else. I really like that.
Yeah.
And okay, so we talk about resources and things. So, what are the best resources that have helped you on your journey? You could talk about your books, your favorite book, your favorite podcast, or something like that.
Okay. So growing up, it would be books. So I read a lot of fictional novels, and I'm not a fan of non-fiction while I was growing up. So I read a
Okay,
lot of
Famous Five,
yeah,
All the Any Blind. I
yeah,
was guilty.
was it not Grace? I think the name of the author is Grace Livingston Hill or something like that. I can't remember the name of the author. So she used to have um, series of novels, and they were Christian based. They
Oh,
were
okay.
Christian,
Oh,
yes, they were Christian based. So another tool would be my teens church. So
all right.
God was really good growing up. God was really good to me growing up. So I had parents while I was a teenager. My parents were like nominal Christians, so they don't go to church. They're not religious. They just they're just Christians. When you ask them what is your religion, they write Christian there, but we don't. That's how far it goes. But I had family friends who go to church and they kind of invite us along. And
Okay.
one of those, so back then it was Foursquare Gospel Church.
Okay.
Uh, Around GRA Ikeja. So I was lucky or I was fortunate to be in a church where the pastor knew that he needed to pay attention to the teenagers. So a teens church was created for us, and the
Awesome.
people who handled the church were really good. As in, if I didn't have that experience in my life, I'm not sure how I would have turned out.
Wow.
I'm not sure how that. So I learned a lot about okay, so one of the things I struggled with growing up was that I didn't believe anybody loved me, not even my parents, not even God.
Okay.
So was there I understand that well, it doesn't matter whether you believe it or not, it is really there.
Mm,
God loves you and all of that. So to be church, the books that I read while growing up, and then I have this I like sitting down and just daydreaming. So my dreams. So I have so those are the tools that help me growing up. But right now, the tools would be non-fiction books now. So I read to grow myself. With a non-fiction, with a masterminds and friendship also. So I've been able to cultivate meaningful friendship, and I've been able to surround myself with people who matter and who
Okay.
are the same vision, or who are on the road to fulfilling their vision here on earth. So those are what I would call my tools.
I like the fact that you've grouped the tools to the tools that helped you growing up and the tools that are helping you currently as you are still growing and thriving in an extroverted world, because you've shown that it's possible for you to survive and add value to the world wherever you are with what you're doing with the women and with the girls. So now, what's the startup for girls all about?
All right, so Girl Skill Up is an initiative of JB Furniture School. JB, the founder of JB Furniture School, and I went into partnership in 2018 when she wanted to. So she was one. So the founder is, her name is Joy. So Joy is a member of the business school for interior decorators. She joined the community, and I was glad that she was there because she had more experience than I did. I was actually looking for collaborators and partners to help me grow the community when she joined.
Mm-hmm.
But she had what's the name, that she had her own agenda for joining. She wanted, so she apparently she's been observing me for quite a while. I don't know for how long then, before the 28th. But she reached out to me and told me she actually needed help with her business. So she is a female who is in the furniture industry,
Okay.
and she's been there for 20 years.
Wow, that's
And
long.
so she has a factory, she had everything. She does, I mean, she's done really good and really well for herself. And at that point, she wanted to branch into, she called them essential goods. So she wanted to start creating furniture pieces that are below 10,000 naira that
Okay.
anybody could just pick up and use to beautify their spaces.
Oh,
And
that's
that was why she came calling. So we did that. We did so that partnership then was for us to launch that line of her business, a new
okay.
product line, which we called the JB Essentials. And afterwards, we still kept in touch, and that was when she shared with me that she had a vision to train 1,000. No, sorry, is it 1,000 or 10,000? I think it's 1,000. I'm not. I think it's 10,000. I'm not sure. It's not 1,000. It's 10,000. She wanted to train 10,000 female upholsterers. So one of the big challenges of the furniture industry in Nigeria is that there is not enough upholsterers to help them finish up their furniture work.
Mm.
And she found out that the best to train are girls between the age of 18 and 30.
Okay.
And because they are female, upholstery is one of the is like it needs attention to detail, is what brings out the beauty in your furniture, especially if it's an upholstered furniture. So she wanted to train girls between the age of 18 and 30 years and create jobs. So that was our own SDG goal for our business. We worked on the vision from 2018, from after we launched the essential. So we worked on it from that period until last year,
Okay.
and the Girl Skill Up was on the 20th of 2019. It was a successful event. It was a successful launch. Right now, we have about two branches
Oh, that's
in
nice. Yeah.
yes, one in Ogun, one in Lagos State.
Okay.
The state the state government actually recognized the the initiative, and they supported. So they've been giving us the support. So by support now, they're giving us space. They created a department in Lagos State here in one of their vocational schools. They gave her like a faculty to herself and all of that.
Okay.
So that how the Girls Killer came to be.
Awesome. And so the Girls Club started in 2018. What role do you play in the Girls Club?
So for the Chaos Kingdom, I'm the chief executor. So I am the one who makes sure that the goal and the vision is still, as in, if you're joining the team, or if you're coming on board, you get to, so I get to onboard you.
Mm.
I also ensure that every stakeholder knows what they should do per time.
Okay.
So I'm also the one who filters all of the ideas in Joy's head. So Joy is a very, very human being. She just has so many ideas, and because she's a very recognized personality in our industry, and even in the building industry, she has so many people um, who mean so they mean well. They all mean well. They want to help her grow, so they give so many
I
ideas,
guess.
give so many suggestions. So my job is to take all of these and work. So I'm like the PRO. No, I'm not the PRO. So I'm like the program coordinator.
Okay.
I'm the program director. So everything that goes on, apart from the teaching of the skill itself. So I'm not in charge of the teaching of the skill, but I'm in charge of everything that goes into planning
Okay.
and also execution.
I love this. I love it. Do you know why I love the idea? Because I think it's good for people to learn life skills and things they can do with their hands that will also
Yeah,
create an impact in society. If we can build those 1,000 women or 10,000 women as people that understand upholstery, I'm sure it will make a tremendous impact on the interior decoration space. Is she offering these courses
yeah.
inline or in person, or I say inline, online or in person?
Okay, so before the COVID-19 came to be, it was physical. It was strict because it had to be practical.
Yes.
It was physical, but right now, I'm not sure if any of the classes are because of the lockdown and all of that. I'm not sure if any of the classes are in session because we're supposed to even break this month.
Okay.
Going forward, what the only thing is going forward, we will not. So the plan was to admit a minimum of 100 students per set.
Okay.
So and for every set. So we have two sessions in a year. So that's like 200. So right now we can't do that. We can't do that number anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still going to the last set that we took in were about 10. I think I'm not sure they were up to 12. That they can be contained in a space and you can observe the social distancing and all of the
Okay.
precautions that we need to.
All right. That's
So
logical.
that is good.
That's
All right.
logical. All right. So now let's talk about what else you do apart from the skills up. You also run an income earning session with people, teaching them how to earn income. How did I How do you get started with that?
Okay. So I called it in the Income Generator Launchpad program.
I'm just wondering, why
And
did you call it income generator launchpad program?
all right, the reason I called it that was because that was what it was supposed to do, help you generate send income
Okay.
to fulfill that dream you have. So it actually came from my own story of how I started my design business. I wanted to start in 2014, and I had a lot of limitation. I wasn't going to go for a loan. I was not even interested in a physical office space. So I was only looking for a showroom. I just wanted to start as how do I call it now? Start as easily as I can with what I have. And so what I had then were when I did an evaluation of everything that I had at my disposal, I had minimum time, so I didn't have the luxury of time like 12 hours to dedicate to my business. But I had like 5 to 6 hours
Okay.
that year. I had less than 20,000 naira in my account.
Mm,
But the good thing I had were networks. So I had really good relationship with vendors, suppliers,
oh,
manufacturers,
okay.
all of. So what I did was to go and create. So I came up with a proposal and I spoke with as many of them that I could. That okay, this is what I want to do, and I don't have the money to set out the way. So what I wanted to do was start my own design business, but I didn't have enough capital to start. But I wasn't going to let that stop me. I wanted to go the online route. I was going to use the e-commerce website. I was going to use my Facebook. Then Instagram, I'm not sure what Instagram was even the picture there, so I wasn't there. But I was majorly targeting Facebook. I was targeting Jumia, Konga, and all of that. So there were three different categories of product that I was targeting. It was office furniture, the beddings, and the window treatment
Okay.
vendors. So I spoke with all of them. All what we agreed on was, as soon as I get an order or get a job, they will give me everything I need to
Okay.
fulfill that order. So
Okay.
that was how I started. And so when I by 2019, 2018, 2019, I discovered that a lot of people come to me and they tell me that they cannot start because of this, because of that. And I told them, and I've been sharing my story from 2017. This is how I started. You can also do so, but they didn't believe me. So I decided,
Mm-hmm.
okay, why don't I teaching it as a program? So I spoke with the first set of people that came on board were three that I was able to teach. And immediately, because the program is set up in such a way that within 7 days you can begin to earn if you do the work that you're supposed to do.
Okay.
Because everything that you need to start, I will supply it. So I'm like, I'm putting myself on the line on their behalf. I have relationship with all of these vendors. They don't have. That's why they are complaining they cannot start. So I was like, okay, so since you have been able to create a good business relationship with these people, why don't you help these people? So you're going to be like, so I put myself at like the middle woman
Mm-hmm.
between what they need and the business they wanted to create. So the goal was for them to be able to start up as easily as possible and save up, because this when I started my business, I was an interior decorator.
Okay.
But from that I've been able to raise capital, raise income, generate income consistently since 2014. I went ahead, I did my interior design certification, I finished. I've been able to sustain the business. I can't begin to tell you all of the things that I've set as in goals that the income from that business I've been able to fund
Awesome.
for me. So that is how the income generator launchpad came to be.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. I like that. And I know we're just talking about income generator platform that you create. How does it operate? Is it do you have a Facebook group, just an Instagram page? What do you have with regards to that? How can people connect with that?
Okay. All right. So the income generator launchpad program has its own Facebook group, but you don't get to be part of that Facebook group except you come on the program. And I don't run it independent of the business school itself. So it's one of the programs in the business school. So we
Oh,
have several programs in this business school. So
okay.
those who want to learn this of interior decorating itself, that one is called the Interior Decorating Online Course. If you
Yes.
want to start a business and you're looking for capital, the Income Generator Launchpad program is for you.
Okay.
And there are other things like that. So for you to join the Income Generator Launchpad program, all you need to do is to register when we're taking in students or when we're taking in
Okay.
applicants.
All right.
And once you join, you're transferred into the group. You have all the support and all of that right there in the group.
Amazing. I like that. All right, let's talk about a topic that I think most people that I'm passionate about, and I believe you're passionate about it also, and it's about personal development. Um,
Oh,
yes, I'm someone that is very passionate about people taking authority over their own personal development. Do you believe that that should be left to someone else, or we bear a major role when it comes to our own growth?
no, it should be 100% your responsibility.
Okay, okay. Why do you say that?
All right. So if you don't recognize or if you don't know that you need help or that you need to improve, it'll
Mm-hmm.
be difficult for anybody to find. You're going to have to maybe get a coach or read books or get assistant outside.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to own that journey yourself. You
Exactly.
need to know is I am doing this for me, because that is going to personal development is everything is a journey. So your road to becoming or your dedication to developing yourself consistently is not a one-off decision. It's something that it's a decision you keep taking every time,
Mm-hmm.
because you keep learning. You just have to keep learning and you keep improving yourself. Times change. You need to keep innovating and adding more skills or tools that you need to deploy whatever solution or whatever life you want to live. So if you don't own that journey, if you don't see it as I have a need, I need to do this for myself. No matter what course you pay for or whatever coach you hire or whatever book you read, it will be hard for you to implement whatever you learn.
Okay.
Because as I said, it has to be you. You have to be responsible for it 100%.
Okay. I like that because if you don't take personal responsibility, you're not, and if you don't see the need, even if someone else is trying to coach you, once you don't see the need,
Yeah.
it's going to be very difficult for you to get anything done. And so when it comes to your personal development, I know you're passionate about vision boards also, like our friend Folakemi. So When did you create your first vision board?
That would be the year I met Polakemi. that would be, that would be in 2017. I my
Okay,
first vision.
awesome. And how's been the journey since then?
Okay, it's been very rewarding, and also it helps me to know more, like I get to understand myself better and understand the journey that I am on. So I get to know what works or what doesn't work. One of the biggest benefit for me is understanding and knowing that my definition for success is mine. This is not the world's definition. It's not the world standard. This is what I want. This is the vision or the dream I have for my life. This is the vision that I want for my life, and I go for it. I like one of the yesterday I was working on a framework within in my business, and one of the questions that I was asked was, I should list my competitors.
Okay.
Okay, it was hard for me to list competitors. It was hard because I looked at okay, so because before I got to that point, there were some previous questions that asked what are the pain points of your ideal avatar. Then the next one, how did they describe this pain?
Mm-hmm.
What have they tried and all of that. But I got to listing. So when I wanted to list these competitors, it was hard for me to read because what the journey or the solution that I have or that I've created, none of the people who are in my space or who are trying to help business owners have anything like that. So it was difficult for me. So I had to tell myself that okay, at least find somebody who just write down somebody who is maybe into sales or into marketing or into. But the truth is, I actually said this thing to me last year, but I was looking at it, I didn't understand it until this week when I was working on my own business. He said that you don't have competition. You can't have a competition. And I was looking, I said, how is it possible that you won't have a competition? But I got to know. So that's one of the good things vision boards have done for me. You get to just face your own journey, being focused on it.
All right. Okay. So, you've learned that from vision board. Um, well, I think most introverts were like this. We are not so competitive. We just want to thrive and believe that everybody can work together in harmony, but that's not always the case. So I'm sure, first of all, when she said write your competition, it must have been like, ha, really? Do I really want to do this? But we learn that we grow daily. That's just the beautiful part about it. Now, with this COVID-19 crisis that has been occurring for the past few months, what has been your biggest surprise, and what has been your biggest surprise?
Okay, my biggest surprise was the way Nigerians, the way Nigerians are not taking it with all seriousness.
Oh my god.
So when it comes to if it comes to how it has impacted business and all of that, well, I didn't really feel that much. Remember, in fact, I don't work from home. I work from anywhere that I can sit down
With
and
your
connect to the internet.
yes.
That is how I set up business. So I'm not constrained by physical location or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that surprises me is that we are responsible because that is the way it has come to. That's what it has come to right now. We are responsible to keep ourselves safe
Yeah.
until we can figure, or the overall can figure out what exactly is
Going on.
this coronavirus and how we can really stop it from killing people. But my people here, oh, each time I'm going out, I have to give myself pep talk and say, the right thing to do. Don't just ignore anybody that is looking at you anyhow. People go out without their face masks. In fact, when you're even talking to some people with your face mask on and they're looking at you and they're wanting, please, can you remove that so I can hear you properly? And I'll be like, my friend, are you in this
I
world?
know, right? I don't think it's only Nigeria. It's global because even here, sometimes I'm like, are you people not? Is it that you just
Oh,
don't understand, or you just don't want to pay attention, or you're just being stubborn, or you know something that we don't know?
Abby, that's the question.
I keep asking myself. And what has been the biggest challenge you faced personally?
Biggest challenge
Yes, during this COVID
that I,
crisis. Because this COVID crisis, they said
oh,
stay indoors. For us, it's like, well, okay, fine. That's not a challenge for us at all. If
No.
you're living with an extroverted person, then you're like, "Oh, okay, I understand that you want to go out, but so what has been your biggest challenge this period?
Okay, so my biggest challenge would be having too many people in my space.
I can imagine. That must be a
So the
lot
kids,
to handle. And you can't just say I'm going for a walk or something.
no, they will tag along. They won't let you go alone. They won't let you go. So the kids are. My husband is home. My so I have two of my sisters staying with me.
Okay.
So I could cope with all of them, but we're all living together before the COVID-19. But everybody goes to their various places in the morning,
Okay.
and I go to work. I work either I'm at home or I work at any location that I want to work that day. But that day, I know that out of 7 days in a week, I have about 3 to 4 days to myself in the house. So I get to be able to think very well. I
Mm-hmm.
get to be able to plan very well. But right now, there are too many people in the house. That's just I'm not up to
And
10.
they can hear you,
But
shame
just
you know.
too many people. And the fact that you have to find something to keep the kids entertained
Oh,
all the time.
I know.
You have to keep them. So I have a set of twins and a boy, and
Okay.
they are all on the age of 8. So you can imagine the questions. The so the I told somebody that recently one of my what's the name now? My latest title is homeschooling. So I've become a teacher by force. I have to be I have to be the one to make sure they do all of their schoolwork, even though they connect online. But it's more or less like I have to be there to ensure that they, because they are kids, so they are restless. If you
Mm-hmm.
are not there to instill
Not
discipline,
doing
you
it.
find out that work that should take 1 hour, they are still on it 2 3 hours down the line and all of that. So
Mm.
those are just my biggest challenge. But I've been able to work around it. So
Okay.
what I
I like
do
that.
time is my work hours are now in the night.
Oh,
That's that during the day I can function as a mom and do all that I need to do and all that.
okay. All right. I think it works out. Just finding out what works for you. I like the fact that you've been able
Yeah,
to figure out what works best for you. And it's just
yeah,
about understanding that okay, this is something that is we cannot change currently. Acceptance of the what's going on around us is very important, and then find out how to make it work to your own benefit. I like what you've done. So you're now a pro homeschooler for how many months now? That's made you a professional.
like months, like 4 months or 3 months now.
That's
We've
a
been
whole
home since March.
term. Do you know that's
That's
a
the whole time.
term? What's going to be the invigilator if you're writing an exam? If they're writing an exam, that's a whole term. It didn't even occur to me that it's been that long. All right. So
It is.
hypothetically speaking, hmm, if I should
Yeah.
give you $1 million now for you to do anything you want to do with it, what will be the first thing you do, or what will you do with the money?
$1 million, right?
Yes.
Okay, the first thing I'll do is to buy a property.
Okay. Okay. Any specific locations in mind?
Oh yes, yeah. That would be in GRA Ikeja
No,
or
really. I was thinking
Ikoyi,
you're going to say
Lagos.
Banana Island.
No, what am I looking for there? I don't want. I don't want. I like peace and quiet. I don't like overpriced and
Is
overhyped
GRA
areas.
quiet?
GRA is quiet. GRA
Okay.
Ikeja is quiet.
Awesome.
Ikoyi is quiet. Ikoyi is also quiet. And I generally don't like the island. That's the truth. I don't like the island. But Ikoyi, I could do Ikoyi because I like the lifestyle. So most of my IN clients reside in Ikoyi. So I've fallen in love with that location.
Okay.
But my number one location will always be GRA Ikeja. Falakemi knows this.
Falakami is actually watching. I was going to ask her to answer the same
Oh,
question.
yeah. Hi.
When she wants to buy a property, where will she buy it? She said, "Hey, lady." So Falakami is actually watching. All right. If you were, if you're not doing what you're currently doing, what would you be doing?
Hmm. That's a tough one.
Oh yeah, like
What will I be?
I'm doing what I want
That,
to do. I don't see myself doing any other thing. This is where I want to be. This is where I am. I full ground, everything.
I'm still. I don't think there's. I've not found something else that I might want to do apart from what I'm doing right now.
Okay,
I
awesome.
don't. Think,
Falakemi agrees with you. She said, Ikeja and Nikoi, BC and I are going to be neighbors. So you have neighbors. You guys have a lot in common. You're introverts. You want to move to the same area, and now you're both. In fact, I don't want to even talk about the similarities you people are, but that's why you click on so well. All right. If people want to connect with you, I think we're coming close to the end of today's episode. If people want to
all
connect
right.
with you, where can they find you?
Okay, you can find me on Facebook. Bisi Odewale, Olabisi Odewale on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram, same name, Olabisi Odewale on Instagram. You can also find me on. So I'm also on. I'm only. I'm active on both Facebook and Instagram, but you can also find me on Twitter and on LinkedIn. Same name, Olabisi Odewale.
Nice. It's just same name for every single thing.
Yeah, so it's easy for you to find me anywhere you are looking for me.
Okay, awesome. And is there any project you are working on right now that you want to share with us?
Okay. So the July cohort of the Interior Decorating online course kicked off today. That is my current focus for this month. So those who want to acquire the skill of interior decorating started today, and I can't wait to see how they are going. I can't wait to see them graduate next month. Um,
That's
then one of the project that I'll also be working on is what I call the marketplace attraction
okay.
for the members of business school for interior decorators. So a lot of them, so those who have taken the Income Generator Launchpad program,
Mm-hmm.
I discovered that they find it difficult to really get into the market, get consistent buyers, consistent clients. And so that is my focus now on how I'm going to be teaching them on how to really brand themselves and also position their brands or position their businesses for the right paying clients to find them, and then they'll be to also continue to generate more clients and retain the ones they have. So that's what the marketplace attraction is all about.
Awesome. I like the marketplace attraction. That is such a catchy name. I think it's so memorable. Hashtag marketplace attraction if you want to find out more about what Olabisi is doing. And before I let you go, because I'm
Yeah.
going to let you go in a couple of minutes, is there anything you would like us to discuss that I did not get to mention?
None. None. I think you covered everything.
Okay, so just to recap, we have Olabisi, a fellow introvert, and we're just talking about how she is thriving in an extroverted world. And I'll just ask her one more question before I leave her. So, Bisi, how are you able to be visible on social media as an introvert? What is your secret to? Okay, since this is the introvert's guide to content creation, what will your own guide be as an introvert to creating content online?
All right. So it's first thing you need to do is to come up with it. So what's the goal of going online? Why do you want to be in the social media space? That's the first place or first thing you need to think about. And that was what I did. Why do I want to be online? I want to be online because I want to be found by my clients. I want to be able to sell what my solution, my product, my services. So for you, it could be you might be a business person, but you want to be in the social media space. So the question is, why do you want to be there? Remember that social media before now, we used to think is where you can just go and sell your goods and services. But right now, it has to be more of a global village where you're supposed to share and also meet people. It makes it easier for you to connect with people outside of your location. So it's like it's a global village beyond borders. Nothing is stopping you from reaching out to anybody there. So don't be afraid to dream big. Just dream. What do you want to do with your social media presence? Once you're clear on that, the next thing you need to think about is which of the social media platform will be best for what I want to do. So if you're thinking of business, depending on the kind of business you're going into, it could be LinkedIn, it could be Instagram, it could be Facebook. Because of the nature of my own business online, Facebook groups is one of the best platform that I leverage on for my own business,
Okay.
for connecting with people and just being real, so that just to engage with people online, for them to know another side of me apart from my business. I do that on my Instagram handle. I let down my hair, I play, I joke, I do a lot of it. And I also talk about business too on Instagram.
Okay.
Same on my profile. So, but if you're looking at LinkedIn, you're looking at more of a corporate. So if you're looking to maybe attract people from the corporate world, or you're looking for what's the name now? You're looking for your next job offer. You're looking for partnership and collaboration for your business. You leverage LinkedIn. Twitter, that is in, I don't even know what it's about that one.
I think
Twitter
it's
has
like a
has
conversation starter. So you either start a conversation or join the conversation to show your expertise.
yeah, so that's that. So that's how I've been able to be visible and also maximize my visibility on social media.
Awesome. I like that. Understand yourself, know your objectives, and choose the right platform to suit your needs. Thank you so much, BC, for joining us today. So, if you're just joining us, we just came to the end of today's episode of The Introvert's Guide to Content Creation. My guest today was Ola BC, a fellow introvert who is thriving in the business world of design, the world of design, and she works with interior decorators. You can find her by going to our Facebook page, Olabisi Odewale, or Instagram, Olabisi Odewale, and then you could DM her and ask her questions if you have need more clarification on what she does and how she can support you on your design journey if you are an interior designer. Or if you have someone that is within the age of 18, like now you're thinking of the upholstery course or something they can do, it's not a bad idea to also,
Yeah.
you could enroll them in that. But I just want to say thank you so much, LBC, for honoring my invitation. We finally got to do this
Thank
today.
you.
Thank you for listening today. If you want to connect with me, you can connect with me on DK Jonah. My Instagram is DK Jonah. My Facebook is DK Jonah. My website is www.dkjonah.com. And I will be back on Saturday. Yes, I have a guest this Saturday to discuss with a fellow
Wow.
introvert on the importance of personal development. Thank you, Folakemi, for joining us and doing the introduction. And I look forward to seeing all of you sometime soon. Bye, BC. Let's say bye to everyone.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.